Very much, ganda naman to. Thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause.
I look forward to it personally. So, dahil sa Paranaque.
Very good. Very good.
Fathers, thank you.
Okay. Now, we call on Javi Padilla for a report on the youth ministry.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, brothers, sisters, titos, titas, and of all ages. How are you? Oh, good. Good, you're still awake. So, while we're getting ready the PowerPoint, first, thank you for, we've been attending the ECFL conference for a couple of years now, and it's always a learning experience. And for the past 24 hours, I can say that I've learned so much about so many things, and I'm sure all of you have learned already a lot of things as well. Nicole spoke about the youth yesterday, so I'm just going to build on what she said already and maybe present some things that will encourage all of us to really engage the youth in this year of the youth. They say, well, it's the year of the youth, so it's really the time to focus on the youth. We've seen the World Youth Day messages. They say the youth is the future of the nation and whatever. But next thing you know, these youth that you're talking about as the future of the nation are already 50 years old, 45 years old, and they still haven't been empowered. Just like what Arch B said a while ago, the older generation are still there, and they're saying, "Oh, youth, you're the future," but they're not giving chance to the youth to take over. And maybe that's also a good eye-opener for all of us here, that maybe it's time to start giving these young people, quote-unquote, more responsibilities and more chances to serve in the church as well. Okay. So the objectives of this ECFL conference, if you looked at your packet when it was emailed to you, there are three, diba? Appreciate the state and the process of being young as a gift. We have to appreciate being the youth as a gift. And also, I think a lot of times we're always saying we have to journey with them, we have to accompany them. But I think we also need to remember how it was when we were young. Do you remember how it was when you were 13 years old? Or sobrang layo na? Hindi mo na maalala kung how things were. Of course, things are different right now. But we too were young as well. And the issues growing up that the young are experiencing, maybe the settings are different. There's social media, there's cable TV, there's YouTube, there's Netflix, but the issues that they face internally, spiritually, are probably the same as the ones we experienced as well. So don't forget that you are also young ones. We have to challenge the family and life ministries to pastorally and actively integrate the youth in the local church. This is the year of the youth. You knew the topic was youth, and then Father Rico mentioned there are only a handful of youth ministers here. So maybe it would have been nice if you brought them along so they can give you input during meal times and other things. So hopefully when you go back to your dioceses and your organizations, you're able to share whatever you learn and get their opinion and journey with them. And attempt to synergize potential youth leaders in the diocesan and parish commissions in view of assisting young people in their identity and mission of church. So these are the objectives of this 3-day conference. So we'll try to address them in this presentation. So how can I speak for the young? I worked as a missionary for 22 years, since 1997 when I graduated from the Ateneo. Not everyone from the Ateneo is bad. I'm from there. I'm not from UST. I believe in God and sacraments, and I defend Mama Mary, so not everyone from the Ateneo is bad. Maybe I'm the 1% who isn't. I'm sorry, Father Jet, sorry. I represented my wife and I, si Des, represented the Philippines at the Vatican's International Youth Forum in 2010. And I have 5 kids. I'm 43 years old lang po, white hair, but still very chubby cheek, baby face. But I have 5 kids. This year, they'll be ages 12, 10, 8, 6, 4. So every 2 years. More. I will give chance to others. To you guys who are married. And I'll talk about some issues of the young. It was presented also yesterday, but I think in order to really have good programs for the youth, and in order to really empower the youth, we need to know more or less, generally, what they are going through. Okay, one. there's a crisis of young people in the church. I want to ask you, when you look during Sunday Mass, usually it's packed. How many percent are young teenagers? 10%, 15%, definitely not 50%, I doubt it. So very, very, very small percentage of young people go to Mass on Sundays. A daily Mass, mas lalong almost none, di ba? Siguro everyone has white hair or no hair, di ba? So parang there's practically nothing, or no one, not that much. And that, I can say, that's really a crisis of young people in the church. Okay. In an SWS survey, si Romel mentioned it also a while ago, there really is, in the 2017 SWS survey, there's only 41% of Catholics go to Mass. It's a 2017 survey. And siguro if the country is 86% Catholic, so 86 million, less than half of that go to Mass, less than 40 million. And maybe, like you said, 10% go to Mass maybe, or 10% are actually young people, 4 million. But our whole population is more than 4 million young people. I think majority nga is young people as of this moment. So that's really, I think, a big challenge for all of us. We talk about family, we talk about family life, Commission on Family Life, your diocesan directors, but we really have to focus on attracting and getting these young people back to the church. Because if we don't do it, no one else will do it. Because kayo naman yung family life director. So if you're not the one who will actively do it, we can't really depend on anyone else to do it for us. They sing, if you want to get something done, do it yourself. Diba? Right. Social media influence is strong. How many of you have Facebook? Lahat, diba? Messenger, kanina pa narinig yung ping, 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 yan. Or the whole 2 days. And it really is a deal, it really is something that everyone goes through. I told you that I have 5 kids, 4 of them are girls. And we don't allow Facebook, syempre, kasi we shouldn't also be allowing your minor children to be on Facebook because there's an age limit. You should follow the age limits, age guidelines of these social media apps. But all their classmates, my eldest is grade 6. She's grade 6. And all her classmates have Facebook already. And they all have chat groups. So syempre, left out siya. Kasi wala siyang Facebook, wala siyang Twitter, and all these things. So parang, when she gets to school, ang dami na nilang pinag-usapan na hindi siya part. So it's really something that you have to deal with. But as a parent, and in this digital age, you have to be strong. And you have to follow the rules. It's there for a reason. Okay, I have some stats here. Are smartphones causing more teen suicides? Increases in depression and suicide appeared among teens in 2012. The same time, smartphone ownership became the norm. So they're seeing sort of a connection, but I think there are other studies that may debunk this. But I think the point is social media is a game changer. And it really attacks self-esteem. I'll ask you po, mga titos, titas, brothers, sisters, pag nag-post kayo ng picture on Facebook and someone posts a negative comment, anong feeling nyo? Let's say, wow sis, ang taba mo na. Ganyan. Or, ang sis, parang puyat ka. Ganyan. Di ba you feel bad? Eh tayo, we're 45 years old, 50 years old. What if you're just 16? And then you get so many negative comments. It really will affect you. I don't know, a few weeks ago, if you heard, there's the drummer of this band who committed suicide, and he live streamed his suicide on Facebook. And though everybody was saying, don't share it, don't watch it, well, everybody watched it, diba? So it really affects you, diba? And then the bullying in my alma mater and all these things, it really affects everybody. If it affects you as an adult, it will definitely affect our young children even more. It's no big secret that connections it include harsh judgments and comparison. So it's basically when people see things like on Instagram, people post beautiful things on Instagram, diba? Ang ganda ng food, ganda ng poses, and it's all fixed, it's all fake. Not that many people just really post how they look like when they wake up, just woke up like this, diba? Usually, naka-makeup na yan, naka-brush teeth na yan. So whatever you see there, it's really curated. That's the word they use. So when our kids, when your youth see it, they think that's the norm. And so they feel inadequate because they don't look like that. Pornography. I bring my son to school every morning and we listen to the radio. But when I bring him, I listen to the station na walang talk, puro music lang. Because the things you hear in the morning, I don't think they're fit anymore for young people. But when I brought him down, I was changing the station, I chanced upon Good Times with Mo. You know that show on the radio, 6 to 8 a.m., 89.9. And they were talking about they were asking their callers, what are their most visited websites that you visit every day? And out of the 20 callers that I was listening to, all of them visited porn sites every day. And this is conservative Philippines. Every day, so here, look at this. These are the most popular websites in the Philippines. How many of you have Facebook? How many of you visit Facebook every day? Ngayon, nag-Facebook kayo, ganyan, nag-chat, ganyan. How many of you visit Google? Yeah, ganyan din. How many of you watch YouTube? Yung mga Tulfo, ano ba, yung Chambe, mga ganyan. Chambe, and Google.com, PH. Number 5, look at it. How many of you visit Pornhub? Ay, wala. Walang amin. Pero number 5 siya. So maybe meron dito, hindi tayo sure. And then Yahoo, Twitter, and number 8 is also a porn site. xnxx.com. So out of the 10 top sites that Filipinos visit, 2 are porn. And I think that's something that's alarming also for family and life workers just like us. Because you know that your young people are part of this statistic. Okay. The youth seek acceptance as a group. So that's why we have barcadas, that's why they have gangs, that's why they have cliques, crews, and all these other things that they call it. They want to be part of a group. And that's something we also need to look at. So possible solutions. As moving forward, how do we really involve the youth in the things that we do? Attract, challenge, inspire, and involve. Since I wanted to make this a shorter presentation, could not put together na. Okay, attract. Our activities must be fun. When you are going to have an activity for the youth, don't think like a family life director. Think like a youth. So dapat fun siya. Dapat may food. Kung walang food, walang pupunta. So dapat may, alam niyo yun. Okay. When they visit your house or your chancery or whatever, the first thing they go to after blessing is they go look in your refrigerator, diba? And look what food you have. We have to challenge them. Don't spoon feed everything. You have to challenge them to think for themselves. Because if you spoon feed anything in one ear, out the other, walang mangyayari dyan. We have to inspire them. They have to have a vision also. The vision that you have for your diocese or your organization in terms of the youth, you have to find a way na ma-imbibe nila yun. You have to speak their language, you have to use activities, and you have to inspire them. And you have to involve them. Make plans with them. Don't bring down plans to them. Because a lot of times, nagpaplano tayo lang, and then pagdating ng youth assembly or whatever, ito yung mga plano natin. No, you have to plan with them. So we have to attract them, challenge them, inspire them, and involve them. And we all have programs and projects that deal with them. I'm sure lahat ng dioceses meron program, lahat ng organizations have programs. And these are some of the ones that we saw last year that really attract big crowds. So we have what's this? Yung sa Lord's Flock. What's it called? Relentless. Okay, yeah. So they really attract a lot of youth. And I think these are some things that we can all learn from. That we have Live Loud, yung malaki din worship concert. We have YFL, we have Youth Fest. The Gen Fest, they also get a lot of participants, a lot of youth. And then we have the Live Pure movement, which also gets a lot of youth. So these are, and one more. The NYB in Zamboanga, and this year here in Cebu. So they really get a lot of youth together. And these are examples of groups and programs and projects that we can all learn from. Because when we gather Catholic youth together and have pastoral formation for them and let them encourage them and inspire them to be active in church, everybody benefits. So if we still do not have a youth program like this in your diocese or maybe your organization, wala pa, it's something to really look into. Maybe you can invite yourselves and see how it's done and then put up your own. Because it's so exciting to have something like this and see youth come together and pray to God and renew their lives and go back to active service in the church. We need to work in communion in order to bring them all back to active life in the church. We need to support one another. We have only one goal. Do you agree with me? We only have one goal, to bring back everyone to Christ. Diba? To bring everyone to heaven. That's our goal. More than membership, more than numbers. Well, of course it's about numbers. We want to bring everyone up to heaven. But we're all in it together. We're all working together. So dapat less competition among dioceses, among organizations. And it's really more of, like what they said, convergence, communion, communion mission. We only have one enemy, and that's the devil. So once we start attacking each other and saying bad things about each other, then that's where things get, that's when we lose. Because the youth get disillusioned, people get inactive, we lose people to Protestants and INC, and so tayo yung talo. So we have to focus on what's really important, and that's bring everyone to heaven. As we saw in the presentation, the grandparents, bringing the grandparents together, bringing families together. We're also pushing Live Christ, Share Christ to bring back the Catholic fervor so that people go back to the church. And I think these are things that are movements of the Holy Spirit that maybe a decade ago, these groups would have never thought of. But now, people are reaching out and people are encouraging people back to the church because that's where it's important. I think it's very striking that even if you go to different places around the world and go to Sunday Mass, wala nang bata din, di ba? Everyone matanda na. If you go to Germany or Europe or whatever, and there really is a crisis. And we really need to work together and synergize to bring the youthfulness and the youth back to the church. We have to give more and more, not for ourselves, but for the church. That's the end goal. And I think that's why also all of us are here, because we want to learn, and whatever we learn, we want to bring it back to our local places. Maybe not as is, kasi what works in Manila, I'm from the Diocese of Antipolo, what works in Antipolo maybe won't work in Mindanao or Iloilo. So you also have to see what would work. And the things na presented today and kahapon and tomorrow, how will you tweak it so it will work with the locals that are your people? So in the World Youth Day, sabi ni Pope Francis nga, "Dear young people, you are not the future, but the now of God." And he invites you and calls you in your communities and cities to go out and find your grandparents and elders, to stand up with them, to speak out and realize the dream that the Lord has dreamed for you. So the youth is now. So don't keep saying, ay, kayo yung future ng Family Life Ministry, kayo yung future ng organization natin. No, they're the now. Let's involve them now. Let's journey with them now. Let's inspire them now. When you go back, it's good to be now kasi nandito pa rin. But when you go back tomorrow, start talking to them, sharing with them whatever you've learned. Right. So these are just 3 final steps and taken from our theme as well here in ECFL. 1, beloved. And that's the goal, diba? Appreciate the state and the process of being young as a gift. We need to attract the youth first and foremost. So in order to make them feel that they are loved, in order to show your love for them, first you have to get them interested in what you have to say. That's a picture from one of our Live Pure movement forums. And before we give them the message of chastity, you have to attract them. You have to sing songs, you have to have games, because that's how the youth are. They're very distracted. They say that YouTube videos have to be 2 minutes, or you have to hook someone to watch it in a few seconds, or else hindi niya tatapusin yung video nyo. If you upload YouTube or Facebook videos on your pages, you can check the statistics or the insights. and see how long people actually watch. Usually, if you have a 2-hour video, first 5 minutes lang yan, tas wala na. If it's not interesting enough to the youth, they won't watch it till the end. So, sayang kung yung message mo maganda sa dulo, they won't reach it. So we have to attract them first. In order to make sure that, in order to tell them that they are beloved, you have to attract them first. Step 2, gifted. Challenge all of us to actively integrate the youth in the local church. We need to challenge them and inspire them to step up. Ito naman, this is one of our live life, because we've heard also depression is on the rise, and there's so much pro-life issues that we are not able to address. So we're also trying to address it in our own way. And we need, and before you, aside from just telling them what to do, like I said, you have to challenge them. And you have to give them that stake in it, so that they can also be the mouthpiece. A lot of times, the youth don't know the pro-life stand of the church because it's never been explained. They just know no abortion, no contraception, but they don't know why. And maybe if you ask their kuyas and ates in the youth ministry or the family life ministry, maybe you also don't know why. We just say no to the death bills, diba? Divorce, euthanasia, abortion, total human, whatever, and homosexuality. And maybe we also don't know why, but we have to know why as well. And third, empowered, to synergize all our work together to be able to reach more people. Because each one of us has a different focus, has a different charisms. Some of us are good in this, and some of us are good in that. And if we all work together and move forward together, then we can reach all the youth. And then we can really make sure that these young people that Pope Francis wants to empower are actually empowered. And we all have to work together. These are some forums from our Youth for Family Life and our shows. If you on YouTube, please visit Flip Media and you'll see all our shows. But I think the biggest challenge I'll give to you is question first. For those who are married here, are your kids active Catholics? Yes? All? Everyone? Majority? I can hear yeses, but I can hear silence in other parts. But I think the biggest challenge is bringing all youth back is to start with our own. Because at the end of the day, when we go out there and evangelize and try to bring people back to the church, but when people see that people know you're married and they see you in church and when hindi mo kasama ang pamilya mo or naka-cellphone lang sila during the homily, hindi nakikinig, then it goes back to us that we're not practicing what we preach. So it all boils down to us as well. Before we go out there, we have to start with our own. So that's our challenge to you. Let's work together. Let's make sure that the young people we journey with them, we challenge them, we inspire them, and we make sure that we work together in order to bring all youth back to the church. So thank you.
Thank you, Javi. Thank you, Javi. I think we have time for 2 questions. We have kasi yes, Brad. We have 6 minutes back.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ruki Nalado. I am 18 years old and I came from the Military Ordinariate of the Philippines. I am the coordinator of the youth ministry of the Our Lady of Peace and Good Voyage Chapel, Mactan Air Base, Lapu-Lapu City. This time, I stand here because I have one key point and one question. The first key point, as I have reflected in the talk by Ate Nicole yesterday, I have reflected that she asked us that how do we look the youth of today? Do we look it in a positive or in the negative way? So for me, we as the elders, or you as the elders and me as a youth, we should look in the youth in a positive way. Because how can we regenerate what was left behind if we look them in a negative way? So that was my reflection about yesterday. For now, my question is, I have encountered many problems as a youth, as a member of the youth ministry, and one of those is I am a humanities and social sciences student, and my classmates, sad to say, I have encountered 2 classmates which is atheist and agnostic. Atheist doesn't believe God, and agnostic doesn't believe religion. Now my question is, in a small way, how can we, the youth ministry, like, except for encouraging them, except for bringing back to the church, what is the very small way, what is the very least that we can do for that problem?
I'm also a humanities graduate. So I think the best way is by our example. So if they see Christ in you, then they will be inspired to know what makes you so happy, what makes you so fulfilled, what makes you so empowered in your service to the church. And then they'll start asking you questions. And so just being able to answer their questions, being able to be a good witness, good example to them, I think that's a first step. That's a good first step.
And brother, brother, I have one situation like in the humanities and social sciences, we are having a subject which is intro to the world religion, right? And I've been assigned to report about the Roman Catholic Church. And when I say that, I quoted that no one, no man, not even gates of hell shall prevail against it. I stand with the Catholic Church, and I am honored to be part of the persecuted body of Christ. I quoted that sentence. After that, two of my classmates debated with me, and I, like, oh my God, is this the real world? Is it unsa naman ang mga youth today? Sorry for the word, pardon, but it is Bisaya manggod ko. Unsa naman yung ano nang nangyayari sa kanila, like ganyan, brother po?
I think that's part of dialogue. You have to find common things within the different religions, and that can be the start of really journeying together. So, syempre, if you say what you said, this is the one true faith, then syempre, if they believe in something else, they'll get affected and maybe get hurt. So that's part of the journeying together, right? Inter-religious dialogue. So maybe take them out to coffee, find common ground.
Thank you.
One more. Yeah, two more minutes. One more question. Ayan. Yes.
Youth pa rin ako.
Good afternoon po. Chris po from Diocese of Caloocan. Actually po, marami experiences ng mga youth of today, and based po kasi sa observation namin, we just not na ito po kami and kailangan niyo po kami maintindihan. Marami po kasi I don't know if I'm with the other youth leaders here, na kami po kasi mga kabataan sa mga parokya ay madalas hindi niya na nakikita capabilities or our talents. Somehow, in reality, we nasa-separate po kami. No, so I hope that at this point in time, in this year of the youth, journey with us and be with us po. Kasi hindi naman po kami, sana po hindi na yung nararanasan namin before, na during our gatherings, during our celebrations in the church, kami po mga youth yung nala-left behind. Madalas po kaming mga youth, kakain na lang ng pack meal, and you as our elders, kayo po yung nasa catering. And ayan po yung madalas na reality na, di ba? And isa pa po, kami pong mga youth, yung maagang ipapatawag for the physical arrangement, and then kami din pong mga youth, yung uuwi ng huli para magligpit. No, kung saan kayo nag-catering services. And lastly po, sa mga parishes, I don't know kung may mga parish priest here, please, bigyan nyo rin po sana kami ng fund, no? You're giving fund to CWL for their pilgrimage. But for us, if we will be doing some national conference, National Youth Day, lagi po ang sagot niyo sa amin ay wala kayong fund. No, so sana po at this point in time, not only in this year of the youth, but I would like to take this opportunity to speak to all of you. This is the first time po kasi na naka-attend ang isang kabataan together with the family and life. No, so sana po, not just because today or now is the year of the youth. Sana po until tomorrow, until the next year, hanggang kahit matapos na 500 years of Christianity, tulungan niyo po kami, journey with us. No? So, yun lamang po at maraming salamat.
Thank you very much. Ayan mga hugot yan. Now, here, in Cebu, do we promise to assist and support the youth ministry in the parish? Yes! And also in Cebu, do we promise to assist and support the ministry to migrants in the parish? What is mahina? Kasi, alam naman, nga pala. Sige. Of course, iba-iba context, no? Iba-iba rin ang mga approaches. But thank you very much. No? So, maybe call Jess and Javi to in front and to receive our token of appreciation, which Father Eddie got especially for this occasion. Yeah, Jess, thank you very much. So Jess has mercy and Javi has this.
One more. Sample. Sample.
Let us thank them with a round of applause. Now, before we listen to Archbishop Wilber's keynote, let us take a 5-minute break.